believe, it's like because I thought that in fact what you believe is to make me a slave in the future. Am I wrong about
Well,
that?
that's a well. Listen. Look, according to the Bible, right? Your race of people are Edomites. You're from Esau. You're Edomite. And according to the Bible, in the future, all races, not just the Edomites, but all the races will be punished and will go into captivity under the children of Israel. You included. So I'm just telling you, and now this is God. This
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
me doing this. This is God says it's gonna happen.
So, without going any further in this, I would just say this is, of course, your interpretation of the Bible. Because
Oh man, see you gotta make it about me. No,
no, no,
brother,
no,
this is
I'm
just
not making
this
about you. I'm just saying, of course,
listen, brother. Listen,
according
brother.
to what do you believe and to your interpretation,
Right,
you are correct.
right. Do you
I'm not.
believe do
I'm not.
you
I'm not questioning that. I'm not questioning
do
that.
you do you do you believe that Macedonians are what people would consider to be white people today? The Macedonians of historical history?
So the thing is, if I will agree, because I will agree because I don't really care. I would just agree that every person which is mentioned in the Bible was black. Would will make you
No,
happy.
no, no.
Okay, okay. Let's say every good people in the Bible were black, and every bad people in the Bible were white. Am I going with
nah, it's
you?
not like nah, it's not like that neither. What I'm simply saying is every race of people that you see today have a biblical name. They're represented in the Bible. The Arabs would be Ishmael. The East Indians would be Elam. The Africans would be Ham. Ham is broken up into different groups of Africans, but that's who the Africans are. So-called white people are Esau. The
Yeah.
Chinese, the
And
Chinese is Moab. Hmm.
no, I okay. So again, I'm not questioning you. I'm not questioning you. I'm not saying it's wrong what you're saying. I'm just saying this is according to your interpretation because, and I'm saying that because I met people who are interpreting the Bible in a kind of different way that you do, and they don't see races, they don't
Mm,
see color, they see just oh
right.
love and happy future, and all this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. See, those people, they don't really, they're not interpreting the Bible. Those people are following a religious doctrine based on the Bible. That's what they're doing.
Well,
They follow a doctrine, pretty much.
yeah, but like from the objective point of view, if there is something like that,
I mean,
don't you don't 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 you think that I couldn't accuse you? I could.
are the same thing.
Yeah.
No, because I'm not part of any religious group or affiliation. I'm just simply telling you that if you read the Bible, you start in Genesis, you're gonna find out that God cuts off all the nations and creates his own nation, Israel. He's not. There's a point in the Bible where he's not dealing with any of the nations. And as you continue to read the Bible, you're going to come across prophecies and things like that. And Israel, his chosen nation, is not exempt from his wrath either. He prophesies a whole bunch of captivities that they would go in. Captivities are recorded that they have been in, and it goes on and on and on and on. So yeah, yeah, I'm just telling you what the Bible actually says, and I believe it. I believe it to be true. That's it. There's no doctrine or any of that with me.
I believe the second part, that you believe that this is the truth. So I will not kind of accuse you that you selling bullshit, right? Because you are believing in the stuff what you believe.
I mean, it doesn't it make sense? Shouldn't white people be punished as a race?
For
It,
what?
for putting holes in the ozone layer, for um polluting the air, the water, for all the animals going extinct,
Who?
for the environment, for the destruction of the earth, let alone
Okay.
all the different white supremacy. White
Yeah.
white
Who
supremacy.
created this? Who created this wise for?
So you saying that the people that created the white people should be
No, 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 no.
so you
I'm
want
not.
to blame you want to
No, no,
blame you
no,
want
no,
to
no,
blame
no. This was not a question. Maybe I said like in in the beginning. Who?
white people came from the first your parents were black. Your parents were black. You
I
came
agree
from
to this
uh,
100%. Yeah.
and those black um your parents you came from the same parents that my people came from actually.
Okay. So who created the parents?
God.
Okay. So in fact, God created also the white people, or would you disagree?
Yeah. No, yeah, he created them too.
Okay. So he created them, and now he those are the guys who are guilty of everything. And
Mhm.
if and the guilt or the wrongdoing is coming from falling of the Garden of Eden, I would say. It's just an assumption from my side.
Yeah, well,
So
going all the
so
way.
so
If you
so
want,
in,
if you
in,
want
in
to,
so in
I
fact,
mean, but look, listen,
yeah,
look.
yeah.
We know that the world during the Garden of Eden, that world was destroyed, right? And God made a new covenant with mankind through
Uh,
Noah. According to the Bible, through Noah, God made.
I will disagree, and I will. Okay, maybe I'm disagreeing with a small portion. How the Garden of Eden was destroyed? I thought Adam and Eve were thrown out of the garden, and not
Well,
the
I said
garden.
I didn't say
Yeah,
I said what I said was okay. What I meant to say was the people from the time period of Adam and Eve. During that time, they were destroyed, and God made a new covenant with mankind after that. So He wiped all of those people out, except for Noah's stock. You know,
uh,
and
okay, okay, go on.
according to the Bible.
So you mean like um, that God? So he didn't have a covenant, and then he made a covenant with certain people. Am I right
No,
about?
he had a covenant with Adam,
Yeah,
and Adam broke that covenant. He was put out of the Garden of Eden.
yeah,
But he still was dealing with those people. He still had that covenant with Adam's descendants because you see Cain and Abel making sacrifices to God. You know, so Cain fell out with God, and he went and did his own thing. That generation, that world was going on. Who knows how long that time period was? But I believe that world did exist, and all of those people, that was the earth that at that time. God wiped those people out during the flood, and only Noah's people was left. God made a covenant with them. The symbol of that covenant was the rainbow. You know, so these people, I guess, they were keeping God's law at this point.
Yeah, and you know I have a different opinion about the rainbow and stuff.
Well, how do you
But
see it?
yeah, no, but that's not the point because I will like have to tell you half an hour story how I see it, right? But I will want to ask you some stuff. It's like you say God had a covenant with
Yeah,
Adam.
God had
With
an yeah,
Adam? No, I still not posted my question. Please, please. I'm
he
just
had an agreement. He had an agreement.
okay. And then he so something went wrong, and he make a new covenant. So hearing these words make me thinking that does God change his mind?
Yeah, God could change his mind. He has changed his mind. There's
Oh,
examples of changing his mind.
oh, but there is like a passages in the Bible which are saying that God never changes his mind. He's always
No, no, that's not what it says. It says that there's a passage in the Bible that says God changes not. So what that means is, in essence, God is God. God is righteous. He doesn't change, you know.
yeah,
But
right.
as far as
This
as far as him changing his mind, yes, there's been times when there's a difference. Okay, you could be who you are, right? You're PO. You're a certain way, and you're never going to change from that. That's who you are. But you may make a decision where you may decide, okay, I'm gonna have peanut butter. No, you know what? Instead of peanut butter sandwich, I'm gonna make a tuna fish sandwich. That doesn't mean that you have changed in essence. You know that for you to do that is like you're trying to make the worm in the apple a part of the apple when it's not. You know.
yeah, but now you're talking about humans. I'm talking about God.
Yeah, we're talking about God and the only way we can really one of the ways we can relate to God and we can relate to God in some ways because
Yeah.
we are made in His image.
I'm usually not being very
No, you're
red
looking for
red.
ways.
No, no,
You're looking for ways
no, no. I'm
to
asking
for,
question.
you're no, you're not. You're probing. You're looking for ways to contradict the Bible, dude.
No,
And all I'm
no,
trying to
no. Oh, you
all I'm
didn't
trying to
listen to
do
what I'm saying to.
all I'm trying to do is have a conversation with your
Yeah,
ass, and
yeah,
you got to
yeah.
sit
Perry,
here and
Perry.
do all this extra stupid shit. This is what you do.
No, no, Perry, Perry. In fact, so okay, you can judge me. I'm trying to make stupid shit, and you didn't even listen to the stuff what I was saying because what I wanted to say. I'm usually not a guy who is quoting some scripture, but I have some scripture to quote. It's Numbers 23:19, and it says as a summary, God is not a man that he should lie, nor a son of man that he change his mind, which will mean that God never changes. And I'm not going to the Son of Man or whatever. I'm just going to the stuff that he will not change his mind. So if he once make a covenant with someone, he will
I
not.
don't see. I don't. Like passages like that. When I read that, it doesn't make me feel like the Bible contradicts itself when I'm seeing examples of God changing His mind. Because those that's like a petty abstract thing, you
No,
know. Because
so
if you ask that to some people, what they'll do is they'll say, okay, well, let's read it in the original Hebrew and see what it says. You know, they'll do things like that, so they'll go deeper into that passage.
I'm
You'll find out that the translation isn't exactly that. You know what I mean? So,
I'm
who knows? Who knows what Bible you're reading from right now. You could like that
Oh,
passage sound
I'm reading
that
from the Tanakh.
right. The King James
No, no,
version of
King
the
James,
Bible.
from the Tanakh, which it was like before the King James Bible was even translated. Where
Okay, so you're
the Tanakh was translated to Greek, and the Greek was translated to the King James Bible, right?
right. Okay.
Okay, so
So
no,
yeah, but mhm.
no, no, no. Oh, please hear me out, because maybe you're missing the point. What I'm saying,
No,
because
I get. What you're saying is simple. You're saying, why would I believe a book that
no,
contradicts
no,
itself? And
no, 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 no,
that's one of your
no,
examples.
no, no. This is not what I said. I'm just
So
saying.
what are you saying, man? Get to the
Yeah,
point.
then listen to me. What I'm saying. In the Tanakh, the quote unquote original Bible, it says that God never changed his mind. And you are saying that God does. So my question is, how is it possible, because he's all knowing, he knows the future, how had he changed his mind? Like, when he's all loving and all good, suddenly he can change his mind to be all bad or something, according to you. This is what you are
No, I
claiming.
never said he could change his mind to be all bad. I simply said there's instances. Well, what I probably should have said was there's instances where it may appear as if God changed his mind. And I can show you examples of that when God had
So he
plans.
did. So he did. Or maybe
Well, when God,
maybe you just mean
God said,
that
God said,
just in our perspective he changed his mind, but he never did because he has a plan.
right, right, right,
Is
right,
this what he mean?
right. It could be, yeah. That might be a great reason for that. Yeah, because if you look at the situation with Sodom and Gomorrah, he intended to destroy them all, and Abraham was able to convince him to spare the city if there
Mm-hmm.
was at least some righteous people there, and he said, you know what, I'll do that. I'll do that. But maybe that's not. Maybe in essence, he didn't change his mind. Maybe he knew that
This is
Abraham
what
was
I'm
going to.
asking you. Maybe we. This is what I'm asking you. I'm not asking you that
Yeah,
you are
maybe I
wrong.
could be wrong. Maybe I could be wrong on that. I could be wrong.
I'm just saying, is it because we thinking he changed his mind, but in fact he didn't, right?
Right, right.
Maybe we just don't see.
It appears that he did though. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad if someone said he did, and I wouldn't be mad if someone said he didn't. And I think, and like I said earlier, that's to me, that's like a weak argument anyway. That's a mute point. Yeah.
Yeah, but and I'm asking you that because according to other Christians, even Jews, right? And I know I'm not talking about the Jews you are talking about. Uh, that they will say God never changes his mind.
Mm.
So how
Yeah, they get caught up. They get caught up. They get caught up in bullshit arguments. Me, I believe the Bible to be true because it makes sense.
yeah.
Everything lines up perfect. Oh, and I just focus on the overall message of the
But
Bible.
but how? And we are not talking now about specific things.
I mean, you're stuck. You're stuck. You're stuck on something small and minute.
Okay, okay, but okay, and I understand it. But for me, if God, just think about it. I mean, not just from outside. If God will change His mind, would it mean, or what will be the reason for changing his mind? Was he wrong at first? I mean, he's all knowing. He knows
Okay,
the
okay.
future.
Well, the example that I gave you right? You take the situation of Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right, right.
He's about the reason why it appeared as if he changed his mind was because Abraham convinced him. Abraham said, "Come on, dude, my nephew's there, please." And out of respect for Abraham, God said, "Okay, I'll spare the city if this happens, if there's this amount of righteous there." But it wasn't. So he never spared the city. But what he did do was he sent two angels to get Lot and his family out of it. And he does that out of respect for Abraham. So that's why he did it. That was it. It wasn't because he was wrong or all this other crazy shit that you're thinking. They tell you why. It's right there in the text.
So, do you think that God has to have respect to us? Is there a relationship like why we are, according to the Bible, we are His creation? He is like the doctor in the sky, right? And we are just ants. We cannot even understand Him.
No, man. See, I don't know why you look at it like that. That's not what it is with us. Like, you gotta
Yeah,
understand.
no, explain to
No,
me.
listen.
Yeah,
No,
yeah. I
listen,
listen. I'm
Morgan. Stop
listening.
being so fucking stupid. All
Yeah.
right, you're not a fucking ant. All right. Yes, God is way leagues above us. We get that. As much as we understand that the universe is infinite and there's tons of shit that we would never fucking know in our lifetime anyway. You know, there's things. The ocean is vast. There's things in the ocean we haven't discovered yet. So yes, in that sense, yes, we are very small. But at the same time, you got to remember that as a human, you're made in the image of God. You're a human. You're vastly different from the animals. You're highly intelligent. You make clothes, develop, build things. So yes, there's God says if you want to get close to me, you have to be an obedient and righteous being. That's how you get close to God. That's how you become how God you get to understand God. He gives you wisdom. You have to add all of these things up, dude. Like it's hard to talk this type of stuff to people like you because you're so fucking ignorant.
And if you say we are made in an image of God, uh, to uh, to which level are we made in the image of God? Because for me, as a stupid atheist, right?
I just told you is the higher level of being the image of God is how righteous and obedient to God you are. So God has laws, right? There's things God hate, right? There's things God does not like. When he sees people doing it, it pisses him off. So if you're a human that refrains from those things, right? You're someone that is more connected to God. Why can't you understand that?
No, I'm not saying I'm not understanding. I'm just trying to because if we are I'm trying to understand where is the so at what point we are not made in the image group because there must be kind of border or differentiation between us and God. So if somebody says we are made in the image of God, and you said we can create stuff and have feelings and obeying God, it cannot be the image of God because God will not obey Himself, right? So this will be cut out. It can only have something to do with knowledge or how you behave, right? Or am I wrong about
Yeah,
this?
because humans we're a very what separates us from the animals is free will. We're very unique, and we were created we're a very unique creation in the sense that we were made to be righteous, but to be righteous by our own validity. So we're not programmed to do the right thing, but we were created to be able to choose to, by our own will, choose to do the right thing. And as doing such, you become a perfect creation. You're the creation that God wanted. You're perfect. But if you're created, and if you choose to do wrong, despite knowing right from wrong, and you still choose wrong, then you are not a good creation. It's like if I create a cup, I designed this cup to hold liquid. And if this cup does just that, then guess what? It's a perfect creation. If this cup does not hold the liquid that I put in it, then it's a bad creation. But why is it here? What's the purpose? It shouldn't be here. And that so you got to understand your purpose in life. What is your purpose as man? What is man's purpose? Man's purpose is not to be a homosexual. Man's purpose is not to be a liar. Man's purpose is not to do the wicked things that they do. Your purpose is to be righteous, but you must do these righteous things by your own will. We are a very unique, complicated, and special creation, unlike any other creation out here.
Is there a commandment in the Ten Commandments which says you have to be righteous? What I'm trying to do, because you said, and I understand what the point. I'm just trying to find out where you are reading it from, right? Because if I look at the commandments, there is no one commandment which say you have to be righteous.
What? There's no commandment. No, there's no commandment see, look, all right, hold on. To keep the commandments of God is to be righteous. You see that? Hey, what's up, man? How you doing, brother? You see, you're sitting there you're looking for a specific commandment that says be righteous, when keeping the commandments in itself is to be righteous.
And you mean the Ten Commandments, or do you mean the 613 commandments which are written in the
Torah? The 10 commandments is righteous, and also the 613 commandments are also righteous. They're all righteous. Now you don't have to keep all of the 613 commandments anymore, because there's certain laws that are done away with since the coming of Christ. But all of those laws are and was righteous. Every last one of them. And by keeping them and by following these laws, see, these laws are set up as like a measuring stick, like a barometer, to let you know how close to God you were. And you knew this. You knew how righteous you were by how well you kept the law. You knew how righteous you were by how obedient you were toward the law. That's the measure. See, the law is the measuring stick. So now you can see and know how much you want to point.
You said so some laws changed over time with the new covenant?
Yeah, the new covenant, some laws was done away with. Like it wasn't no reason to keep them anymore. Certain laws.
I'm just saying, if you're saying that, so which laws? And I know about the law of circumcision. Okay, let's not talk about that. But which laws beside of that will change?
The sacrificial laws were changed because we had all types of laws concerning sacrifices for sins and things like that.
All of
So,
that was done away with the ultimate sacrifice of Christ. So
so,
all the
so, so,
sacrificial
so,
laws
so,
we
so
don't do no more.
yeah. So I mean, like before that, there were goats, which were sacrificed, and now we have sacrificed a human. So this is
Now, what? See, you
yeah, yeah,
looking at it
I
funny,
know.
man. You looking at it.
No, no. You know,
Let me get a pack of no pause.
why I'm doing it, right?
I got
But right, because I'm asking you because I don't understand. Right before that, there were sacrifices some goats, or some chickens, or whatever, right? And
you. Right.
then now the sacrifice is a human, which yeah, I could say, whoa, there's a step backwards, not forward.
Nah, I mean, no, we're not sacrificing humans. Christ was the ultimate sacrifice. So you gotta understand,
So he
the Most
wasn't a
High could
human.
do, yeah, a human was sacrificed. God could do what the hell he wants. You
No,
understand
no,
that?
but he human or was he the?
Yeah, he was a human.
Yeah,
He was a
okay. So
human.
so sacrificing human forgives our sins, and
He
before that,
sacrificed. Yes, That's his love. That's the ultimate love. There's no greater love than when somebody lay down their life in exchange for yours, so that you could have another chance.
but this
There's
this
no greater love than that. There's no greater friend than that.
yeah, Perry,
Someone
but
willing to someone willing to die for you.
yeah,
Someone willing to sacrifice themselves for you to
yeah.
have a new slate at life. There's no greater love than that.
But this
That's the
would
greatest
mean,
friendship you'll ever come
but
across.
Perry, this would mean that a god can die. Do you think your god can die?
I mean, in human, well, he technically really didn't die because it tells you that he resurrected in 3 days. You did,
No, no.
but yeah,
I mean,
he's not the Christ is not the true God. He is a God, but he's not the true God. Just
what
like you're well,
he's not a true god.
us as
Oh,
people.
Perry, you must be very careful what you're saying now, because I'm just wondering what you're saying. So you mean Christ wasn't the true God, and then you say, oh, at least I've heard it, that gods cannot be killed. So where is the sacrifice? Because according and let me
Hold on, brother. We
yeah
look, God, look, God. There's scriptures. You gotta understand what God is. All right. Now, if
yeah I'm
we talking
trying
about now listen, relax.
yeah
Now, if you we talking about God the Father, no, God the Father cannot be killed. Under no circumstances can you kill God the Father. God the Father is the true God. God the Father is the true God. You understand? And
okay,
no, he cannot be killed. You
but
cannot
the
kill
son
God
can
the
be
Father.
killed.
The son was sacrificed, and that was set up by God from the beginning. God always planned to do that. Because you can read about it. It's prophesied it in the book of Isaiah.
Yeah,
So that was set up like that.
but okay. So I have to ask you one another question. So you're not a Trinitarian, right?
Of course not. I
Oh,
believe.
okay.
Yeah, I don't believe.
Now
I
I
do
understand
believe.
you. No, no,
Yeah,
no.
no, I believe. Yeah, you got
Because
God the Father.
because the Trinitarian will say that Jesus was a God too, right? Oh,
Well, see well, look. I believe Christ is a God, but see the difference between me and them is that those guys would pray to Jesus. I don't pray to Jesus. I pray in the name of Jesus. You understand?
oh no,
I pray to the Father.
I don't understand that.
I, I don't work. Okay, listen. I don't worship Jesus. I worship the Father. But I worship the Father in the name of Jesus. These guys worship Jesus. I don't worship Jesus. Jesus is a God. He is the mediator. He is the one that has adopted me. Through Jesus, I'm going to meet the Father. There's no way to meet the true God unless you go through the
Through
Son.
through the Son. Okay,
You
but
understand? So I don't, that stuff they talking about, Jesus is equal with the Father. I don't see evidence of that. I see evidence of the contrary. I don't see Christ as being on equal level with the Father. Now,
okay.
him and the Father, Christ is who he is because he is perfect and because he fully understands the Father. He fully understands the Father. He's on code with the Father.
So there are multiple gods. Are you saying that there is one God, the Father, and there are
Yeah, he's
other, and there are other gods, kind of sub gods to them?
no, not all right. You gotta see, like I told you, right? The word God, the word God simply means power. So that's a word. That's a word that can be played with. But when we talk about there's a lot of things in this world that could be considered God because God simply means power. You understand what I'm telling you? Anything could be perceived as God. God simply means power. Your boss at your job could be your God. Your mother, while you're growing up, can be your God. Your father can be your God. But no one can be the Father, the true God, the one that created all of this. No one can be that. No one can be Christ, the Son of God. Actually, Christ created all of this. The only thing the Father created was Christ. Christ created us all as the Son of God. Christ created us all. The only thing the Son of God did not create was himself.
So
And the only
he
thing that
so
the only thing the Father had to create was Christ.
so Christ is a sub god of the God.
Yeah, yes. And we're gonna be sub gods. We're gonna be heirs and brothers to Christ. That's why Christ came in the flesh, because Christ was already here. Before he came as a human in the flesh, he was already was. He was I am already. So he was already here. And he was the one that actually he's the one that he's the guy that you're dealing with in the Garden of Eden. That's Christ. That's not the Father. That's Christ. He's the one that you're dealing with when he's taking the Israelites out of Egypt. That was Christ. He's the one that spoke to Abraham when Abraham seen God and God came down. That was Christ.
Oh,
We don't know. We don't even know the Father at all.
but didn't the God says to Moses that all the other guys knew me as El Hashem or something, but now I'm
Right.
telling you my real name, and this is
Right.
Yahweh.
I am. That's right. So he told Moses, this is I am. So remember, that was Christ. Because Christ, when the Israelites wanted to kill Christ, when the Jews wanted to stone him for blasphemy,
Yeah.
because he said that. He said, Yo, even before they said, Yo, how you claiming to be God? And you not even older than how you claiming to seen the birth of Abraham and you not even 30 years old? And he was like, Yo, before Abraham was, I am. So he was letting them know that. See, but what he was dropping on them was too heavy for them to understand. Israel always had a problem with understanding God. They
No,
made so
no.
many
In fact,
mistakes. It was
because
hard for them.
so the stuff why they didn't accept him because the Jews or I know I'm not talking about the Jews you believe in, but the Jews will know that the Messiah who will come will be a normal person, you and me.
When you read when you read the Tanakh, right? It tells you what would happen when the Messiah would return, when the
Oh,
Messiah would come,
and
and how the Messiah would be a sacrifice.
I can tell. I can tell you. I can tell you what it was. It was he will be a son of a normal person, and in Isaiah 11, it will say he will have fear of the Lord. So, how if Jesus was God, have fear of the Lord, and that he will gather all Jews in the land of Israel, which he didn't do until now, and that he will rebuild the third temple, which didn't happen, and
Yeah,
then
because you got to understand.
wait, I'm not finished.
No, it's no wait. You said what you said. You don't got to keep going on. I get the
No,
point, man.
because I have like
That's your problem.
two
That
more
no, that's your
two more
that's your
arguments.
that's your problem. All right. What else? What else? What else? Go ahead. Go ahead.
And the next argument will be when the Messiah will come. In Daniel 12:2 will say that all the dead will be resurrected, which didn't happen. And and
Hmm.
that in Isaiah 9 and Zechariah 8:23, it says that all the people, all of the world, will acknowledge the one God, which didn't happen. And the last one, and this is the real last one, in Ezekiel 37 and Isaiah 2, it says it will bring the world peace, and we have still wars.
That didn't
So,
happen. So now listen. Are you finished?
yeah,
All right. Because the Bible doesn't just speak of one time Christ returning one time. We're waiting on his return now. Okay.
that's
We're
that's
waiting.
that's
We're waiting.
yeah.
We're waiting
Go
on
on.
that.
Sorry.
We're waiting on his return. So according to the Bible, right?
According
Through a
to the
verse,
New
through a verse.
Testament,
Relax. You just spoke. Relax. According to the Bible, a virgin shall give birth to a Messiah, right? And no, it's not wrong, you
it's wrong.
asshole.
It's wrong.
Listen, let me pull this scripture up for your dumb ass because now you starting to piss me off because now
Yeah,
now
because
you yeah,
because
now
it
you
doesn't say a
you
virgin. It
no no
just
no listen
it's
no
a
because
young woman.
everything you said just now is pertaining to his coming now, his coming that's happening now. We're
Oh,
not that's not pertaining to him being born and being sacrificed and then going back to the right hand side of the Father, only to return later to subdue the earth. Which all of those things you mentioned is what's going to happen when he returns. So you want to be a dickhead and make it seem like all of that stuff was supposed to happen when he was born. That's not what the scripture says.
so you mean there'll be another Jesus born?
No, that same Christ has always been here.
No,
We've always been dealing with him. And what
be,
I'm saying is, well, listen, you asked
yeah,
me a question.
yeah.
And what I'm saying is he came in the flesh, died for the sins of Israel, returned to the Father, and now he's gonna come back.
So
That
so
very
so
same Christ.
so when was the because the virgin birth is not in the Torah, so it might be in the New Testament.
Yes, it is.
I
Yes, it
don't
is.
know. In the
I'm
that's
gonna show you. You want me to show you?
no.
I can show you.
The thing is that the Greeks translated it wrong. It doesn't mean
No,
of a
no, no.
virgin. It means
No,
just a
no, you're gonna
young
say a
girl.
young maiden. No, it could be interpreted as either. And in that case, when you use your logic, you see what it's talking about. All right. And even in the birth of Christ, even in the New Testament, it lets you know that that was a virgin. Mary was a virgin
Oh,
because she says
I'm
she
not
does
going
say.
against the New Testament. I'm just saying what.
All right, so even so, yeah. So I mean, it correlates to what happened in the New Testament. Period. Period.
Okay, okay. So if you believe that, I'm with you, right? But according to the Old Testament, it doesn't mean a virgin. It just means a young maid. And this is what the people who translated the scroll, not even the Dead Sea Scrolls. What they translated was the Babylonian Bible, which was written in exile, right? And then and when they translate it, they make everything seems like according to the Christian belief. And yeah, so they translate it as a virgin, but in fact, the Tanakh is talking about a young maid, not a virgin. So, but these are kind of stupid things we are talking about, and this is not even the thing.
No, I'm just
No,
simply
no,
showing.
because I don't, because now I'm arguing about stuff which I don't want even to argue, right? Um, because there's stuff I want to know. Not I don't want to argue at all. In fact, I just want to know how you come to the stuff what you believe, and I don't want to question it or something. I just want to know.
It's just common sense, P.O. Listen, when you read the Bible and you understand the Bible like I do, and that's gonna be difficult for you to do because number one, you're not an Israelite,
Right.
and number two, you have to know who wisdom belongs to. You need to know who it belongs to so you can ask that person, can you give it to me? Can I have this wisdom to understand this book? Wisdom belongs to God. So you have to truly come to God with a sincere mind. A sincere heart means a sincere mind. Like you're not playing. You really
Yeah,
want to learn.
but according to
And
you,
no, listen, dude,
yeah,
relax. I'm trying to tell you
yeah.
how I came to this conclusion.
Hmm.
So I came to God with a sincere heart, a sincere mind, and He opened my mind up to wisdom, and I was able to read the Bible, and I understood it perfectly. Most people, when they read the Bible, it's like a dude that can only speak English, speaking German, or speaking Spanish, or speaking some language. They don't know what they're reading. I was blessed by God to understand what I was reading and to be able to interpret it the right way. And that's where I come. That's why I say the things that I do.
So am I able to understand it, or do you think I'm not capable
I
of
think it. I
understanding?
think. Well, listen. I'll tell you this. With God, anything is possible with God. Anything. So if it's His will for you to understand, because I'm not going to sit here and say that there's not white people that don't understand what I understand, because there is. There's a lot of white people. I see them on the internet teaching. I see videos, and they say the same thing. They say, "Dude, I really read this Bible, and I gotta admit, these so-called Black Americans are the children of Israel. They have to be. They are the children of Israel. These people are God. These are the real Israelites. Even white people have come to that conclusion. So I'm not going to say that you can't come to that conclusion too.
Okay.
But maybe those white people, who knows? Maybe their fathers 300 years ago go back to Black Israelites, to Black men who happen to be Israelites, and now maybe their kids just kept having white babies with white women, and now they just look white. I don't know. I'm just saying that. Like some of you guys are gonna be surprised when Christ returns. Some white people that have been thinking that they were white all of this time, They're gonna realize that, oh, sweat, I'm an Israelite too. I didn't even know. Like my lineage goes back to that, you know. And for some reason, we just whitened up. But yes, just like Israel, like see me, I don't complain and blame white people for the things that happened to my forefathers during slavery and all of these things, because I understand that it was prophesied in the scriptures. These things happened because of what my forefathers did. It was a punishment from God, and I don't trip because I also know that it's redemption behind it. Just like you shouldn't trip when your time for punishment comes, Mr. Esau.
Okay. I will not.
So that's all the Bible is saying, man. You know, basically, when it comes to white people in the Bible, yes, it's prophesied that you would rule this earth. And it gets very specific, man. It's the beginning of your reign on this planet starts with the rough goat in the book of Daniels. How the rough goat defeated the ram with the two horns. One horn was longer than the other. That ram represented Persia and the Medes Empire, which were conquered by the Macedonians, which are white people, and that was the beginning of your reign on this earth. And yes, there was a time after the Romans, which were another group of whites. After the Romans fell, the Bible speaks on that too. It says that for a little while you fell out of power, but that you came back. That you came back into power. You came back into power, but you did fall out of power for a while after the fall of the Roman Empire. The Israelites started ruling again, all in Europe, all in Northern Africa. We started ruling again, but we fell again, and you came back in power. That's explained in Revelations when it talks about the dragon and the seven heads. It said that the second head, which would be the Romans, the first head would be the Macedonians, the second head would be the Romans. It said that the second head was wounded as if to death, but it recovered.
And was it, wasn't it all God's plan?
Yes, it was all God's plan. And according to God in the book of Romans, he says this about your people. He said that your people are about Esau. He said your people are vessels of wrath, fitted for destruction.
No, no. If he said that,
He
no, I
also
understand that he said that.
he
But what I
he
mean by
he
that,
also he
wasn't his
what that
plan
means what that what
to be
no
become?
what that means is you was created to be evil. That was your purpose. Your purpose, it's like a movie. It's like I got a movie. I'm making a movie. Your
God
role,
created us to be evil.
yes, your role in the movie is to be evil. It says God hated you before you
Now,
were even
how
born.
can he hate us if he created us?
Yes, because God said that He can create one vessel onto honor and one vessel onto dishonor. He can take a lump of clay and he can make one part of that clay. He can make a cup that he
So
drinks from.
how can God hate us because of what you're saying? He created us because he wants to be evil, and he hates us for that.
No, I'm not saying. I didn't say that. That's what you said. I'm saying that.
No, this is what you explained to me. That's what
No,
I'm
I didn't
asking.
explain. That's not what I explained. What I explained to you was God knew all the atrocities that you were going to commit
How
on this
could
earth.
how could he knew? Of course he knew
God,
because yeah,
it's
of
God,
course, because he's all knowing. But he
right?
created us, so he created us in the
And
way.
He let it play out. Yeah, He let it play out.
What do you mean he
That's
played it
why
out? What do you mean
I
he
said
played it out?
he let it play out.
No,
So at the end,
what do you mean when he played it out would mean that he
no, I
didn't
didn't say he
know.
played it out. I didn't say he played it out. I said he let it play out.
Yeah,
That's what God does.
but it will mean that he didn't know it will happen. But
No,
if
he
he,
knew. He knew.
okay, okay, if he knew,
He prophesied everything that you're doing today.
right,
Everything that your people is
right,
doing today.
he prophesied it.
This is all written about in Revelations. It's
Right,
written
I'm
already.
agreeing with this. I'm agreeing with this. What I don't understand is he created us, and because he is the creator, he knew how we will die. So if he will be the all merciful and all good, he will not create us in the beginning, but he did.
No, that's
And,
not
and,
true.
and now
That's not true.
and
Dude. That's not
now
true.
and now he's
That's not
hating
true.
us
Listen, listen, listen,
because he
listen, listen,
created us
listen, listen,
because of
listen,
his
listen. Let me
creation.
explain.
It was his
No, let
fault.
me explain. Let me. No, it's not his fault. See, you're looking for somebody to blame. Listen, if you're gonna blame anybody, blame Adam and Eve because they brought the evil into the world. They created the possibility of an Esau being born somewhere down the line. So that they disobeyed in the beginning. So what that created was all these wicked nations, all of this wickedness, all this evil. The Bible just gives you a written record and how it's gonna
Didn't
turn
God
out.
knew it
But
before?
yeah, but I told you he created man as a very special and unique being. You to be
No,
righteous on your own accord.
yeah, but you're still not
And
answering my
the
questions.
minute, listen, no,
Yeah,
no,
okay,
listen, dude.
okay,
It's like this, right? Once
okay.
you make something perfect, it's perfect. That if that thing
Oh,
goes
and
out
now
and
it
it
becomes
mess,
wrong. So
yes, if you
you
mess up, if you use
how
your stuff,
how
okay,
can you
hold
create
on, all right,
something which
look.
was perfect and it becomes wrong?
Yeah, because when you was a baby, right? You had a clean slate. Well, not technically,
No,
but
no, 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 no.
so
It's not.
let's say you was a fresh, brand new creation of God, right? You could
No,
have a
you are
clean slate.
telling me that God
You're not
made.
listening.
Of course not. I have
You're
to
not
interrupt.
listening.
I'm
You're not listening.
sorry.
You're not
I'm
listening. You're not
sorry to
listening.
interrupt you because you are claiming that God was a perfect guy, creating perfect things, and now
Mhm.
his perfections went wrong and he didn't knew about this, and
Yeah, you
therefore
was created.
he's
Yeah,
he's
we was
blaming
created.
the
Adam,
God
Adam was
of
created.
his incompetence.
Adam was created perfect. That's
Right.
like when I say us, I mean mankind. In the beginning, yes, we were created perfect, no blemishes, nothing. We blemished ourselves. It's like you can relate it to this. Like when I was a kid, right? I was born, a baby, right? Now let's not talk about the sins of my fathers and all of that, because that's included on me. So I actually was born in sin. But let's say I wasn't, right? Let's say I'm born clean slate, nothing wrong, no blemishes, right? I'm placed in this world. As I get older, right? I begin to lie. I begin to steal. I begin to build up a record, right? I'm no longer perfect anymore.
But
I built up a record of so I'm no longer perfect. It's like, you're that kid, you're listening to your mom and your dad, you're just a kid. As you get older, by the time you're in your late teens, boom, you get caught by the police for DWI, drinking while driving. Now you're not perfect anymore. That perfect record, you don't have it anymore. Now you have a blemish on your record. And then you just keep on adding more and more
yeah, but you are
imperfections.
talking about human sons, like
Yes.
human creating human, and those are not
And I'm
gods.
talking.
But let's go back to the stuff where
No, because
God
you
where
said you
God
said that
was
yes, God.
creating humans, and God is a perfect guy. Everything what He's creating
Adam,
is
Adam, Adam,
perfect.
Adam.
How
All
can
of
it
us,
be that
all of
those
because you know
guys
what, I'm telling you.
makes
I'm let's say you was Adam, right? Right? You're Adam.
okay?
You're the first. Every living human is gonna come from you, right?
No, it's coming from
Every
God,
this
not from me.
no. Listen, dude. Listen what I'm trying to tell you. Adam and Eve is the mother and father of all living humans on this earth today.
No, no, no.
So let's say
Adam is also the mother
no.
because Eve
No,
was created after Adam and
All right.
after
So if you want to, all
after
right. So if you want to, all
all
right,
of the
right.
animals.
Look,
She,
if you want to
she,
say that, you can say that.
Eve,
See, that's
Eve, Eve was the last one was created according to the Bible. He
right,
cannot be the
right.
mother.
And even okay, but the way God set it up, right after them, and even during them, was Adam couldn't create nothing else. God didn't create nothing else out of Adam in his rib. After that, everything that was created by both of them together. All the rest of the humans.
Oh,
I'm
come
talking about the
on.
humans that's
Oh,
I'm talking
come
about the
on.
humans that's
Read
alive
the
today.
Bible, Perry. Perry.
No,
Read the Bible.
I'm
First,
talking about
first were
I'm
the
talking about
plants
the
created, then the animals, then Adam,
dude,
then Adam,
dude. You
and
cut me
after
off.
that, Eve was created. She was the
Listen,
last
see this.
who
You
was.
definitely see. I know for a fact you're an Edomite because you're not getting it. Listen. What I'm trying to tell you. All the humans on this earth today come from Adam and Eve. Period.
Yeah, she was
Period.
the last, and he was the
All right,
second last.
and who did Cain came from Adam and Eve. Cain didn't just come from Adam. Cain came from Adam and Eve having sex, reproducing. That's how God set it up.
Oh, so
So
God
what?
was the
So what?
author. God was the author, not Adam.
God, no. No. God wasn't the one who made Eve and Adam sin and bring evil into the
Of course
world.
he was.
No, he wasn't.
He was all-knowing,
He was not.
omnipresent. He was all the time in the garden. And if he would be a parent, a responsible parent, when you comparing it to
No,
humans,
no,
right?
no, no. You can't look at it like that. Because listen, your purpose was to at that point, right? And even to a degree now, your purpose is to be a being. Now, Adam and Eve wasn't babies when they was born. They was made fully grown.
Right.
So listen. As a grown up, your job your purpose in life is to be righteous. You gotta
So,
choose to be
so,
right.
so you mean God wasn't a grown-up in this case? He didn't
No,
look
God.
after his
No, listen. No,
child.
no. How do you get that from what I just said? I just told
Exactly
you.
what I'm following. What you're
Listen,
saying.
listen. Dude. Listen to what I'm telling you, right? Get it in your little pea head. Listen to what I'm saying, right? I'm telling you that Adam's and Eve's purpose was to choose to be righteous, and they
Right.
chose right, and they chose to do wicked.
No,
And from the
according
time,
to
yes,
you.
they did. No,
Uh,
it's not according to me,
According to
asshole.
you. No, it's
It's
according
according
to
to the
you.
story.
No,
It's according
that's
to the
totally
story, dude.
wrong. Because you
Dude,
interpreted the story completely different
fucking idiot.
that I would do. But go on.
You're a fucking idiot, dude. Listen, I told you, the purpose of mankind is to choose righteousness.
Let's go to Genesis and if say
You
if
don't have to do all of that.
no, we have to go there because it was the
They were told. Listen.
no, they were told
It
what
was
they
it
told,
was explained.
and the
It was
telling
explained to them.
was
It was explained to them what would happen if they did some dumb shit,
not
and they did it anyway.
if, not if. That's the point. That's the real point of it.
If I tell you,
In
if I tell,
Genesis,
if
in
I
Genesis,
tell you,
it was
if I tell
said
you,
the
if I tell you,
day, not if. It was said the day.
if I tell you, if I tell your crazy ass, P.O., if you go out in the street and murder a bunch of people, the police are
There
gonna
was
arrest
no
you.
if, my friend. You
Listen.
you don't know
Now, see, now
Genesis.
you just
You
being
have
an asshole.
no idea. You never
No,
read the.
you're being. Now, see, now you just,
No,
now you
I
just
can
being, now you
say
being that. No, now you're being belligerent. Now you're being
no.
an asshole.
It says in the Bible, not
That's what people
if.
do when they
No,
losing. When they start
it's
losing the argument, they start to become
oh,
belligerent.
there is no losing. It says in the Bible, not if. It says the day you eat from the tree, this and this will happen. So it's not an if. It's not a conditional question. It says just you will do it. And then this and this will happen. So there is no if.
It is a if. You ask White, he told them if you do this, this is what's gonna happen. So that's an if.
No, it says not if. You have to do it, no matter what. You will
That's the
do it.
same thing as if. That's the same
God
thing as if.
prophesied. No, it's not
Look, I'm
if.
not. Look. I'm not gonna argue about the word if. That's so stupid. But the bottom line is this: they knew the consequences. They were warned, and they
No,
chose.
it
They didn't
means
heed the
it.
warning.
No. It means there
And ever
wasn't a
since then,
choice. There
and ever
wasn't
since
a
then,
choice
and ever since
if they
then,
do
the-
it. It was only a
and ever
choice when they will do it.
and ever since then, there has been imperfection within human beings, which is why Esau was born. So no, Esau is guilty as all hell, and he's a direct result of that bad decision that they made, and also a lot of other things that happened before he was born, with humans. But Esau came into the world, and just like God used Pharaoh as a tool as a teaching tool, as an example, it's gonna be the same thing with Esau. You're gonna be the ultimate example. The world is gonna know that God really does exist, and you're gonna be the catalyst that He uses to prove that, to prove His almighty power and might. Why? Because you're one in rulership right now. When Christ returns, you're gonna be the one ruling the earth at that time. So He can't rule. He's not gonna co-rule with you with white people. No, He's gonna take your ass out.
Yeah, what you mean is you blame us because of that. That he
No, He'll kill you.
prophesied.
He's gonna take you out
Of course, he
because
will
you
kill us.
because you
He will.
because your kingdom is
No,
evil and wicked as hell.
yeah, because he wants us to be like that. He will blame us
Nah, he didn't
because
want you.
of
He's
his
like,
own
he didn't want you
creation.
to. No,
This
no,
is
dude.
this is the
He did
stupidest thing. He will
Nah,
blame us
listen.
for
Let me
his
explain
own
something.
decision.
Listen, dude. Your race of people, right, is a mistake. You're in purity on this earth. You're not even really
Oh,
human.
so God makes mistakes?
No, Adam and Eve made the mistake, and
No,
that
we
brought
already get
forth.
over that. There was no
Listen,
if, there was a
listen,
prophecy
dude.
of
Listen,
God
dude.
that they
There's a
will
there's a
do
there's
it.
a there's a there's a saying in the scripture, right? It says, "Look, beware of yeast, for even a tad bit can leaven the loaf." So, what that sin that Adam and Eve did was that tad bit of yeast, and what you see today is the loaf being leavened. So, all the evil,
So,
all of that came from that, including you, Esau.
yeah. So you mean like there was something else according to, so which was not God, who
It
created
started. It
stuff?
started. No. It just started from a seed of wicked
So,
that grew. That
oh,
grew.
so,
That
so, so,
grew.
so,
That grew into a
so you
forest. And you're
mean
just. You're just one of the plants in the forest, dude. You're one of the evil, wicked plants that
So you
grew from that
mean
little ass seed.
something happening in the world was not without acknowledging of the God, without His will. So something happens in the
No,
world.
it's listen. I just
No,
explained to
no,
you.
no. You did
You're
not.
dumb, dude. You're so
You
fucking
are
stupid.
just saying that
Listen. I
stuff
just
can happen without God's will. Who is stupid now?
listen. God gave us free will. The free will is the choice between wicked and evil. Our purpose in life is to be righteous by our own will. And God gives us the choice. He gives us the choice.
Can
He
there
can,
anything
and
happen without
and
God's will?
yes, and because
Yes,
we
stuff can
and
happen
because
without God's will. Woo! Perry, you are the most pagan guy I met. You are
you're
polytheist
focusing on
because
you're
you
focusing
believing
on
in
you're
several
focused
gods.
you're focusing on
You are unbeliever on earth. Thank you.
Listen, you're focusing on stupid small points.
No,
You're
it's
not
the
looking at
most important
you're not
points.
looking at the big picture, dude. But I understand why. You're just an Edomite. You're
Yeah,
not even
I
human.
know. You'll come back with this. But the Edomites
Adam,
were
let me
created
tell
by
you something.
God with
What was
his
what was the
will.
difference? What was the difference between the humans of the day of Adam and the humans today? I'll tell you the difference. The difference was those
No
humans, they probably,
difference.
yes, it was a difference. Those humans were pure. They didn't have any viruses. They didn't have any mutated genes, any fucked up DNA, any of that. By the time your people came on the scene, humans were already corrupted. They
Who
were already,
created the
they,
coronavirus? Who created the coronavirus?
ah, shut up, man. I'm talking about something specific.
No,
I'm trying to tell you
no,
how
I'm
you
just
are. I'm
telling you
trying.
now about
I'm
stuff
trying to.
right now.
I'm trying to.
Perry,
I'm trying
who
to explain.
created
I'm
the
trying to.
coronavirus?
I don't know, but I'm trying to explain to you,
Oh,
right?
so you don't know
I'm
that
trying
God
to.
created it?
I'm trying to explain to you,
God created the
right?
coronavirus.
That
And it shows
by
you
the time,
that
by the
you are the not the Isa, and that's why you die on it.
oh man, I'm trying to tell you why you're a virus. By the time your people came on this earth, right?
By the
The earth,
time,
you,
so we landed on this earth outside without
no,
the
you were
willing of
born. You was
God.
born. You was born. You was like if you was look. You was born to black parents and you came out white.
Right. And
So that
who
yeah,
and who decided it?
Adam and Eve
Oh,
unknowingly,
Adam and Eve decided. So it was
yes,
not God's
unknowingly.
decision?
No, unknowingly Adam and Eve.
Oh, so stuff happening on this earth without God decision. So your
Mm-mm.
God is not omnipotent. Are you
No, he is
aware
omnipotent, but
that you
see,
are?
because he
Oh,
created. Look,
he
that's like
is
if you're
omnipotent.
not listening. You're not listening. Look,
No,
God
I'm listening
created it.
exactly what
Listen,
you are
okay,
saying.
if you're gonna listen, then listen. God created a system, right? He created a system
And
for
then
humans,
he just played
right?
out.
Just
Yeah,
listen.
yeah.
And in this system, right, it says this: you, your purpose is to be righteous, to choose to do good. If you choose to do bad, these crazy things are gonna happen on this earth. All this is gonna you're gonna manifest these wickednesses, right? So it was the power was left in our hand. The power
Oh,
was
yeah,
left
the
in our
more
hand.
power. Oh my God. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I
If we chose,
understand.
no. I'm not saying we have more power than God. It's just that God created the matrix that we live in. It's like if I create a video game, right? These are the rules of the
Oh,
video game.
God is
So
the
you have to play with
game
God.
creator.
It is. It's a matrix. This is a matrix we live in. So there's rules to this matrix, and because it was already explained to us that if you break the rules, this is what's gonna. That's what that. This is what it's gonna bring.
Oh, the rules. Who make the rules?
God made the rules, man.
And who is the
It's gotta
power
be
about everything?
God.
It's the God, right?
Right. So
And
you're saying.
and
So you're caught up.
can anything
See this.
happen without God's agreement?
Yes. No. Nothing can happen without his agreement. But he
Oh,
already
thank
set
you
it
very
up.
much.
All right, but he already set it up. He already set it up, though.
Yeah,
He set it up. He set it up that this is going to happen. So his agreement is already said and done.
yeah,
He already
yeah,
made it.
yeah,
He made
yeah.
his agreement already. He already
Right.
said, "Look, this is what's going to happen." Right? Right? This is my law. This is how it's going to go down. You can't go to the judge after you done went out and killed seven
Can I
people
go
and be like,
against
"Yo,
God's will?
hold on. You can't go to the judge after you done killed seven people and be like, yo, you got the power to
Don't
send me home, man."
compare
I
people to
learned my
God.
lesson. The judge is gonna tell you, look, man,
Don't
you need.
compare
I got an
God to humans.
I'm comparing it. I'm making it. This is just a comparison, man. It's an
Yeah, but
example.
it's so wrong because
All
God.
right, man. So all right. Listen, Po, man. I don't have time for this stupid shit, man. We were getting somewhere. Now you're going somewhere else, man. I don't have time for the retarded shit. I understand that you're a fucking Edomite
I
and all of y'all.
yeah.
You would
I love you,
basically
Perry. Let's just stop like that.
God created you to be a fucking troll.
Yes,
That's all. You're a race of trolls.
of course, because it's God's will, and He will punish me for His will. Thank you
Yes,
very
at this
much.
point, it's His will.
Yeah,
At the point that Esau was born, yes, it was God's will, and that's why He said, "I hated him even before he was born, because I knew this guy was gonna grow up to be a nation of pieces of shits and
yeah,
trolls and
yeah.
assholes."
I
And,
created
and
him to be an asshole, and therefore I will punish him for that. Yes, you're
it's not
right.
exactly like that. It's
No,
kind
it's
of
exactly right that. He
not.
knew
No,
it,
it's not.
he created it, and he will judge people for his own favors. Thank you.
Listen, dude, that's just the way
No,
it is. All right.
I'm just, just going
You're
on.
not alone, but you're not
No,
alone.
Perry, I
You're not
loved it,
alone.
but I have
There's
to.
other races too. Look what happened to my people. Look at my people. Look at my
No, it
people.
was,
Look,
it didn't happen
look what we
anything.
went through. Look what
No,
we
you
went
went
through.
anything through it because it was prophesied.
What?
It was prophesied,
Yeah. So you don't
right?
see me complaining?
Of course not. And you cannot blame the white man to make you a slave because God was willing to do it. He
Yes.
prophesied that you
Right.
will be brought to
But listen,
America
but
on
let me
ships.
tell you about
But you,
that too though.
but you
But hold
cannot,
on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on,
but
hold on,
you
hold on.
cannot say
But
that
let me
white
add to that.
people
Let me
are
add to that.
guilty of it because
Let me
it
add to that.
was
Wait, I
what
can't say that.
God was
I
willing
can't
to
say
do.
that. Let me tell you why I can say it.
No,
Because
you
God,
cannot.
no, I can't. Listen, I'm gonna show you how. God had an agreement with white people that he would allow them to rule over his people for a certain period of time
Yes.
as a punishment to his people. But guess what? White people overdid it. They went
What do you mean? Oh,
beyond
they
the
overdid it.
they went beyond the agreement that they had with God
Where and how?
because they knew that they was only supposed to hold us for 350 years and they held us longer than that. They were supposed to let us free, set us up in the land
What?
of Israel.
They did something
Yeah.
which God didn't know?
No, God gave them a choice. Either you can follow the agreement or not. If you don't follow the agreement, then you're really fucked up. Because
No, I think
now,
they followed exactly his instructions. They
no,
held
they did not. They did
that
not. They
held
did
your
not. They
people
did
as
not.
slaves
No, no.
exactly at the
They
amount.
went. No, they did not. They held us longer than the time of the
So so
agreement,
so so what was the time?
and
What was
also
the time where they were
it was the
allowed
time that
to
according to
keep
the
you as a
Bible.
slave?
According to the Bible, the time was supposed to be for a time, which is 100 years, two times, which would make it 300 years, and a dividing of time, which would be 50 years. So they had 350 years to hold us in captivity. Not only that, but the things that they were doing during the captivity violated the laws that God had for people being in captivity. So they were violating those laws that God had
Which laws?
established for slaves. The
Which
slave laws that's in the Bible. You come on, dude. We went through this already. You know that God
no
has
no no
laws
no no
according
not
to
not
32.
every man, not every black man was a Hebrew, right?
And
And
say
there
that.
and there are laws for Hebrew slaves, like you can keep them for 6 years, and then you
No,
can.
I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about. I'm just saying laws in general for slaves. Period. Like there was laws. There's certain
No no
like
no.
chattel
In
slavery.
the Bible, what there were only
The slavery that we went through in America was not the same slavery that's mentioned in the Bible. It was way worse.
yeah,
And
because not
that's what
not
I'm talking about.
not
Like
not all of
they
them
went
were Hebrews, right?
they went too far. And see God
What do you mean by
see
too far? It was exactly the
all
same.
right, they went too far, dude. They went too far. They was like all
No,
of the
you are
shit.
saying that there are rules in the Bible
No, that's what
which are
God said.
talking about Hebrew slaves,
That's why
but
God. No,
but not all the black
if they would
Americans,
have, if they would have just
Africans
stuck to the
were
agree,
Hebrews.
if
They are
they
believing
would have,
in Panga Panga and something else, right? So and those rules which are declared in Genesis 22 and 23 are not for every other religion. So only for those guys who were Hebrew slaves, and those were you can
The
keep
Israel, look,
them
listen.
keep them
The
for like
people that was
7 years or
the people.
whatever.
Right. Okay. Now listen, the Israelites, the people, my people, right, are Israelites. We
Oh,
went into slavery.
which are the Israelites according to you? So
Negroes in America.
no,
Negroes,
my friend. They are not all of them because
all of them, all of them,
all
all
of
of them,
them, no, they didn't believe in.
all of them was Israelites. They didn't
No,
have to believe whether they knew if they was Israelites or not. They fit the
no, they
prophecy.
believe in
So the
other
bottom,
gods.
the bottom. So like I said, listen. You like once again, you bring up a stupid mute point. So once again, the point that I'm making is just like God dealt with Nebuchadnezzar. God communicated with Nebuchadnezzar. God communicated with the kings of Persia.
Nebuchadnezzar
God,
was a
God, God,
shit.
God,
It.
God communicated with Alexander the Great. He communicated with all powers of the earth. He has always communicated with them. These people, the elites of the world, from the beginning of time, have always communicated with God. And in the
Like
case
the
of your
white
people,
guys, right?
everyone did, even your
Of
people,
course.
even to
And
this
he
day.
told him to take slaves from Africa and bring it to America.
Yeah, go
And
get
now
those
he's
Israelites.
blaming them for
It
what
was
he was
because they
saying.
went too far. They went too far. They
What do you
didn't
mean
follow.
they
They
can
didn't
too
follow their
far?
law.
Is there
What?
is there a possibility that people
Right.
are more powerful than
You know
God?
what I mean? Yeah. So listen, man. At the end of the day, dude, you don't understand
Of
what I'm
course
telling
not.
you. You just don't understand, and that's all it is, brother. We have two different understandings. We don't see things the same way, and that's cool. But I'm just explaining to you how I see it. And at the end of the day, right, they violated the agreement. So now, when Kennedy in 1960, Kennedy was
Oh
assassinated
come on.
in 1965, right? No, 1964, something
Dallas
around that
1
time,
p.m. Dallas 1
right?
p.m.
But Kennedy wanted to set the Israelites up in Israel and tell them who they was. But before he had the opportunity to do that, he was assassinated. He was attempting to save your people.
Are you
But
aware that Candy was white?
yes, he was attempting to save your people.
So,
He knew what it was, and he was attempting to save the white race. He said, "Look, man, let's get out of this agreement with God, with these people we still holding over here, and let's get out of the agreement. Let's tell them who they really are, and let's set them up in Israel." But the people that rule your people, the elites, your kings and queens, they disagreed with that. They said, "You know what? We're not worried about God. Let God do whatever He got to do," and they kept us here. They held us still. So when you read Revelations about Yaakov going into captivity and all these things and all the things God is going to do to you, it's justified.